How fast fashion might give you cancer. Stop wearing the color pink. Research shows concerning evidence your new Shein top might give you cancer. Scientists found alarming levels of cancer causing chemicals like lead, phthalates, and polyfluoroalkyl substances in fast fashion clothing. Here is the weave on how fast fashion might give you cancer. But first, a little history lesson. The perilous past of poisonous textiles. The use of toxic chemicals in clothing has a long, sordid history spanning centuries. Our ancestors prized vibrant hues and novel colors, often oblivious that these textile dyes and treatments harbored insidious toxins. In the 1600s, the upper class clamored for vermilion and cinnabar red silks. Unaware these contained mercury, the Mad Hatter's bane, proud ladies wore their mercury-dyed gowns only to suffer neurological decline. Later, in the 1800s, arsenic-derived emerald greens came into vogue. Women flaunted arsenic-hued dresses, surrounding themselves with the deadly wallpaper pigment. Alas, many fell ill or died from the poison that seeped through their skin. The first aniline dyes emerged in 1856, allowing factories to pump out affordable, rainbow-bright fabrics. But these synthetic colors came at a cost. Many early anilines proved carcinogenic. Textile workers suffered health woes from dye factory fumes. In the 1940s, stockings and socks colored with aromatic amine dyes raised consumer safety fears, and benzidine dyes, once so popular, were nixed for their bladder cancer risk. The perilous past of poisonous textiles shows that the use of dangerous chemicals in clothing production has long historical roots. While dye chemistry and manufacturing practices have improved, safety issues persist even today. This troubled history leads us to our next section on specific cancer-causing chemicals found in modern fast fashion garments. Despite decades of progress, the continued drive for low costs and vibrant colors promotes ongoing chemical risks. Cancer-causing toxic chemicals. Affordable clothing comes with its price and the hidden risk of cancer. Shein, Zaful, and AliExpress have made billions with their low-price marketing. Scientists have revealed how fast fashion online retailers are using toxic chemicals to formulate their low-cost clothing, even in children's clothing. But before we jump in, please note that everything mentioned in this video is unbiased, fact-checked, and reviewed by qualified health professionals. Investigations published on Marketplace explored how several fast fashion pieces have elevated levels of dangerous chemicals, including lead, phthalates, and polyfluoroalkyl substances. The Marketplace investigation tested over 250 garments from popular fast fashion retailers. 70% were found to contain at least one toxic chemical, while 15% violated safety regulations in Canada. From neurological complications to an increased risk of cancer, repeated exposure to these chemicals can have detrimental effects on health. Dr. Miriam Diamond, an environmental chemist at the University of Toronto, shared the results of the investigation. Without hiding any ounce of truth, Dr. Miriam revealed, "People should be shocked. This is hazardous waste. I'm alarmed because we're buying what looks cute and fashionable on this incredibly short fashion cycle. What we're doing today is to look for very short-lived enjoyment out of some articles of clothing that cost so much in terms of our future, health and environmental health. That cost is not worth it." Lead, phthalates, and PFAS found in children's and adults' clothing can all cause cancer. Correction, these toxic chemicals can cause a wide variety of cancers, including childhood cancers. Exposure to high levels of lead in childhood can damage the brain and nervous system, slow down normal development and growth, and create learning and behavior problems. Lead exposure is also associated with lung and stomach cancers. Lead was found at levels up to 110 times higher than the legal limit in Canada. Phthalates, the chemicals that make plastics more durable, are endocrine disruptors, hindering normal hormonal physiology in the body. Research shows that this chemical can mimic estradiol, activate estrogen receptors, and lead to breast cancer. Phthalate levels were up to 57 times higher than the legal limit in Canada. This repeated exposure poses a severe health risk. As for PFAS, this chemical is also guilty of increasing the risk of cancer. Known as forever chemicals, polyfluoroalkyl substances are virtually impossible to break down or degrade in any environment, making them even more hazardous than one may think. At high levels of exposure, PFAS can lead to kidney, testicular, and breast cancers, and even melanoma. Dr. Max Ong, professor of environmental health, warns the public of the unforeseen dangers of these forever chemicals. People should care about this because we know that there is widespread human exposure to these chemicals, and we have documented data on that. These chemicals can increase the risk of various different health outcomes, and they can alter your biological pathways. That is important to know so that we can better prevent exposures and mitigate risks. Are you enjoying our health insights? Please like this video and subscribe to our channel to stay informed about our latest research. Dyes, pollution. Azo dyes, carcinogenic compounds, are deemed so dangerous in Europe that national laws and regulations have banned them from clothing textiles. The same can't be said for fast fashion conglomerates that sell hundreds and thousands of articles of clothing every minute. Azo dyes are one of the most commonly used groups of dyes present in the textile industry. Despite their popularity, dermal, systemic, and bacterial biotransformation of these dyes can release hazardous and toxic compounds called aromatic amines, or AAs for short. These aromatic amines are the real culprits behind health complications. Once on the skin, aromatic amines can be absorbed through the skin and rotated through the body and its tissues. Exposure to certain kinds of aromatic amines can interfere with intricate cellular mechanisms and damage DNA and essential protein. Various kinds of aromatic amines can be classified based on their carcinogenicity and hazardous complications on human health. According to breast cancer prevention partners, here are the facts with aromatic amines and breast cancer and how these byproducts can display unfavorable endocrine disruptors. Studies using cancer cells from the human breast show that aromatic amines form structures that indicate DNA damage within the cell. Buildup of DNA damage can lead to tumor development. A study of breast cancer cells that are sensitive to estrogen showed that some aromatic amines can mimic estrogen. This may increase the development of tumors. Women who used hair dyes containing aromatic amines, like 4-aminobiphenyl, had a 23% higher risk of developing breast cancer than women who did not use hair dyes. But it's not just hair dyes that can house these toxic amines. One 2023 study showed how aromatic amines can be found in clothing marketed in Brazil and Spain, and how the color pink seems to dominate in the aromatic amines arena. As shared by the authors, when exploring the aromatic amines regulations in Brazil and Spain, pink clothes displayed higher levels of aromatic amines than any other color. Ethical dilemmas. But which brands are choosing to bypass recommendations and continue to release low-cost, profitable, and trendy clothing that will run its course in a matter of months? Insider magazine published an article exposing all the alleged clothing brands that have jumped on the toxic chemical train. Popular brands like Lululemon, Old Navy, and recreational equipment, Inks, are all guilty of similar charges. With clothing articles that can be bought for less than $5, it begs the question of how such companies can afford to even manufacture clothes to begin with. Along with economical chemicals that pose the risks of cancer, lack of ethical ground seems to be the second common denominator among world-famous clothing brands. Author Soline Routurier gives this reality check on fast fashion brands and their disastrous implications for global and planetary health. Fast fashion's impact on the planet is immense. The pressure to reduce costs and speed up production time means environmental corners are more likely to be cut. Fast fashion's negative impact includes its use of cheap, toxic textile dyes, making the fashion industry one of the largest polluters of clean water globally, right up there with agriculture. Cheap textiles also increase fast fashion's impact. Polyester is one of the most popular fabrics. It is derived from fossil fuels, contributes to global warming, and can shed microfibers that add to the increasing levels of plastic in our oceans when washed or even worn. So now we ask, is fast fashion worth it? Anyone who has bought a $3 shirt on Shein or Zaful can attest to the inferior quality of the material and its limited durability. Although the allure of affordable price tags is certainly difficult to overlook, we must approach clothing in another direction. Choosing a clothing piece with a price tag that is 10 times greater may seem extravagant, but the extended lifespan it offers without succumbing to wear and tear makes it a prudent economic choice. This way, you not only get your money's worth, but also save by avoiding frequent replacements. Not to mention how eco-conscious brands strive to create clothes that are chemical-free and more forgiving of the environment. When you opt for brands labeled as green and eco-friendly, you not only stay in sync with the latest fashion trends, but also significantly decrease the potential cancer risks linked to every new sweater you buy. Resisting the urge to fill your shopping cart with dangerously bright neon colors can be a beneficial life decision that will reap its reward in the future. So, what choice will you make when it comes to fast fashion brands? Will you stop investing in these dangerous and life-threatening brands? Thanks everyone for watching. If you learned something new today, consider subscribing and comment down below what you want us to explore next.